Okay, so welcome back, guys. My name is Jason, and we do this every Tuesday and Thursday at 6:25 a.m. to 6:50 a.m. And what we do is we work together to develop wellness practices. So we've done some videos so far, a couple videos on meditation, a couple videos on essential oils. And then in today's video, we're going to go a little bit deeper into the practices of Reiki. So I hope that you enjoy today's session. Hello, welcome to the session today. If you're just tuning in, today we're actually going to be discussing Reiki. So if this is of interest to you, feel free to tune in and continue to listen. And you can also listen to the recap if you have to jump off. So what is Reiki? So Reiki is a practice that is developed out of Japan, and this is a pretty incredible practice. So about um, about 80 years ago or maybe a little bit more than that, there was a Buddhist monk that had been practicing many different types of practices. So out of Japan, it is pretty normal that people would, commit to a certain type of practice. So in this case, this student had been practicing Buddhism for quite some time. And also, just a little bit to add to that, hello, welcome if you're tuning in on YouTube. We're just explaining the lineage and the history of Reiki. So thanks for tuning in. There is there is many different practices. So Shinto is another type of practice, which is actually focused on nature. And actually, throughout Reiki practice, if you're a beginner to Reiki or if you're just tuning in for the first time, Shinto is really based on the principles of nature and martial arts. And a lot of these Shinto practices, they have to do with earth, which earth in these cultures has to do with the stomach. So this would be the earth. This would be the heavens, so the top of the head, and the heart right here. That's the connection between heaven and earth. So these practices, they actually also were incorporated through traditional Buddhism. So these are referred to as the three jewels. And these three jewels are obviously the connection of the belly or the mind, and then lastly the spirit. So the connection to the greater whole. And if we think of Buddhism, the three jewels are the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. So it's kind of this similar connection to the greater spirit, the connection to the self, and the connection between self and spirit. So getting back to the history, there was a Zen monk, and his name is Mikao Usui. And Mikao Usui had been practicing many, many different practices over the course of his life. And he came to this practice somewhat in a way by chance. So he went to on a spiritual quest, which is actually pretty normal for the times to go into of vipassana, which is really a deep state of insight or inquiry. So you disband from any type of pleasures, you go out and you just focus on meditation and stilling your mind and your spirit. So by going to this mountain, which is called Mount Karama, and it actually is a famous mountain in Japan, which is out of Kyoto. He went to this mountain and he said, I am either going to become enlightened or I am going to experience death. And this is not really the first time we've heard of teachers that have gone out and it's either life or death. It's a very common thing that, you know, in a spiritual practice, you're willing to face all odds in order to obtain the goal of liberation. So he went to this mountain, and the story goes that on this mountain he was struck by a bolt of energy, and he got knocked out. His consciousness was knocked out, and then when he awoke, he he was able to understand what these practices are. So, what is Reiki? And so, in short, in summary, from my understanding and from my education, I I learned from a teacher, Eleanor Curry, who's been practicing Reiki for some time, and she seems to follow, you know, these lineages of that have stemmed from this practice. So, from what I've learned from her, the um, the practices have um, the practices have developed in a way where Reiki is this energy that is always present and is in all things. So the interesting part is within the training or within the understanding of Reiki, Reiki is not something to obtain necessarily. So it's not something that can be necessarily gained or lost in that way, but it really is just when we become re-aware of this innate energy which is within all things. So one of the things I like that, you know, I adopted from her and the practices that she taught is Reiki is being Reiki. So what that means is that the practice of this energy, this subtle form of energy, it is innate, it is within all things. And really what activates it is our ability to become aware that it is there. So the process of becoming aware that it is there is done through the process of an attunement, usually by somebody that is aligned to understanding or feeling this subtle energy, and as a result they can assist the process of somebody that maybe was previously unaware of this energy. The addition to the attunement is the attunement can also be done to reconnect somebody to something that was forgotten about. So, for instance, let's say, you know, you've done Reiki, you've completed the trainings, and you've done the master level of Reiki, which means that you're aligned to, you know, all of the symbols of Reiki, the principles of Reiki, and the practices of Reiki. But really, what continues this essence of Reiki is your ability to practice the Reiki. So, a in talking about the Reiki, there is the practice of attunement, which is where you get aligned to the Reiki. But then there's also the practices that come with it. So the practices, as I stated earlier, are based out of Buddhism and Shintoism. And the first practice really is connecting deeply with this present moment. So one of the ways that we can do that is we can take our hands. This is called Gasho, and in Sanskrit, this is also referred to as Namaskar Mudra, Namaste Mudra. We take our hands to the center chest and we hold our hands at the center chest. So when we hold our hands at the center chest, now we are beginning to evoke a sense of connection. So in this practice of taking your attention to the center chest, of holding your hands in this way, you are now beginning to evoke what is a connection, a deeper connection. So in doing this, we hold our hands in this way. This is where we evoke an intention. So this could be, you know, a feeling of connection, a feeling of oneness, a feeling of deep connection. And then when we move to the next part of this, we can hold our hands to the forehead. So this is obviously the custom that I learned, we hold our hands to the forehead, and once again we evoke, maybe may all beings experience this wellness of Reiki, or may I experience the wellness of Reiki. And the reason why we hold our hands to the head, I believe, is because we are connecting to really our highest self. So in most of these traditions, the Reiki bolt came through the crown of the head. Also, when we think about consciousness, consciousness begins at the crown of the head. It begins at the top of the head. So when we hold our hands in that way, we're really evoking from this sense of mind. When we bring our hands back to Gasho, and this is a very important part of the Reiki practice, we are saying, I am not doing anything. I am not healing anything. I am not changing anything. I am simply allowing the energy of Reiki to move through me. So what you're doing now is you are saying that even though that there's this presence of energy, you're allowing for the greater forces to move through you. And that is very important in Reiki, because somebody may think, oh, in working with Reiki, oh, it didn't work, or oh, this practice is not working in a way. So when we remove our self intentions or our self will from the equation, and we just let whatever is supposed to happen, it really allows for this natural falling into a space of peace. So one of the practices that we can do is just closing the eyes for a moment and just letting the belly rise and fall on its own naturally. So you can do this as you like. Close the eyes and just watch the belly rise and watch the belly fall. And watch the belly rise and watch the belly fall. And watch the belly rise and watch the belly fall. And this is also a form of in Zen meditation we do this, watching the belly rise and watching the belly fall. And it's really a way for us to ground into the present moment. Belly rises, belly falls. Belly rises, belly falls. Belly rises, belly falls. Even now, you may begin to feel the subtle energy. And it's very subtle. It's not something that is, very tangible even. It's like, it just feels as though there's maybe a slight difference to your sensation, or your ability to become aware of your sensation. Belly rise, belly fall. Belly rise, belly fall. Belly rise, belly fall. Belly rise, belly fall. And then once you have worked with this, now let's move into the principles of Reiki. So you can keep your hands, this is called Gasho, you can keep your hands to here if you like. You can place your hands on your lap if you like. This is uncomfortable. So now is the principles of Reiki. And the principles of Reiki are also very similar to the Buddhist principles in a lot of ways. So the Buddhist principles are not to kill, not to lie, not to steal, not to have ill will in your intentions, and not to indulge in any intoxicants that would alter your state of consciousness. Obviously, if medications, maybe you need them for your health and continuation, but really to refrain from anything that is to alter your consciousness from the present moment. In this practice, it's a little bit different, but similar in a lot of ways. So our first principle is that we are going to let go of any anger. And before every principle, we say just for today. So you would say just for today, May I let go of any anger. Just for today, may I let go of any anger. Just for today, may I let go of any anger. And then we move on to the next one. Just for today, may I let go of any worry, anything that worries you at all. Just for today, may I let go of any worry. Just for today, may I let go of any worry. And really feel it. So if it takes a little bit longer to evoke that invocation, let it come naturally. So don't worry if it takes a little bit of time working with this. The next principle is just for today. May I be grateful. 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 And then we move into just for today. May I connect to my highest purpose. This is also, I really like this one because when we say just for today, may I connect to my highest purpose, it's really asking for a deeper sense of calling, a deeper direction. So when you connect to your highest purpose, knowing that you are living the truth of your existence, knowing that you are connected to a higher radiance of being, a higher sense of being. And then lastly, just for today, may I be kind and compassionate to others. But I like to start this one with, may I be kind and compassionate to myself, and may I allow that energy to radiate to others. So in being kind and compassionate, it always starts with the self. It always starts with our inner practice, our inner awareness. So as you repeat these principles just for today, may I let go of anger. Just for today, may I let go of worry. Just for today, may I be grateful. Just for today, may I connect to my highest purpose in life. And just for today, may I be loving kind to myself, and may I share loving kindness to others. So as you come into these practices, or if you're just tuning in, we're just working through the Reiki principles. We're going to do it one more time. You can close your eyes if you'd like. Hold your hands to the center chest if you're in a position to do that. And just repeat, just for today, may I let go of any anger in my life. Anything that causes me anger, anything at all, may I let it go. And then just for today, may I let go of any worry, anything that is causing me worry, anything that is causing me any stress, may I let go of. Just for today. Just for today, may I be grateful. May I be grateful, and you may mention things in your life that are directly related to you. May I be grateful for this. May I be grateful for my body. May I be grateful for my health. May I be grateful for my friends or other things in your life. Just for today, may I be dedicated to my highest purpose. May I be dedicated to my highest purpose. And just for today, may I evoke loving kindness, first to myself, most importantly, and then may I share my loving kindness with others. So to end the session today, what you can do is you can place your hands, this is called Chiryo, which is the treatment section, over any part of your body that you feel needs a little bit more nourishment. So I place my hands over my stomach. You can place your hands over your chest. You can place your hands at the top of your head. Any part of the body that you feel needs nourishment. And just close your eyes and just breathe into that area for a period of time. Knowing once again, as we started with today, that Reiki is moving for its highest purpose. The Reiki is doing exactly what it needs to do. And this is a practice you can really do at any time, just holding your hands to a specific part of your body and just being with that space, just being with it and knowing that energy is moving there. So if you need to get deeper into Reiki, you guys can continue to follow me, come to my class, maybe connect with me via email, and share. I want to get a little bit deeper into Reiki. I'll be happy to provide you with additional resources. I hope that you really enjoyed today's practice today. This is a really incredible practice I'm so fortunate to have come upon. I do practice it every day, and I find it to be extremely beneficial. If you were tuning into this video on YouTube, please share a comment of what you liked in today's practice, in today's session. Also, if you can click the thumbs up, and if you're not already subscribed, just subscribe to the video. It's really important because it allows for me to continue to share these videos and expand them with other people. And as I bring my hands to the center of the chest, may you receive the highest grace of teachings. May you receive the highest grace of practice. May you receive the highest grace of Reiki and deep, deep, deep connection. I hope that you have a peaceful, blessed day. I hope that you continue to connect to your highest self. Thank you for those who've tuned in on the Instagram live, and you guys are awesome. Have an amazing day. Peace, happiness, love, peace, happiness, love, peace, happiness, and love. Thank you guys so much. We'll be doing this every Tuesday and Thursday, 6:25 a.m. to 6:50 a.m. And I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Namaste. Thank you.